All right, hi. So this is going to be our second analysis of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And The Raven is Edgar Allan Poe's most famous poem. It is one that is alluded to. It is a poem that you're going to see in your high school and college career. We have in our culture many allusions to it. We have here in Jacksonville Poe's Tavern. Many of you have gone there. We also have, we've talked about before, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are a sports team that, because Poe is from Baltimore, they've named their team after him. So many allusions to this poem. So it's very important. So much to talk about with this narrative poem. Today I kind of want to just talk to you about the storyline. So our main characters are the Raven and the narrator, the man, the unnamed man. Some of you said that Lenore was a character. She's mentioned and she is important as part of the story, but she is not a character, okay? So let me just read to you a great plot review that I found as we get started kind of talking about the 5 stages of plot through this narrative. So I'm going to share my screen. And hopefully you can see this. So Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, is considered a classic of Gothic literature. A man, probably of middle age, sits alone in his well-adorned library one cold, bleak December evening and contemplates the ending of his relationship with the lost Lenore. So this is setting up the exposition of the story. We have a setting, which is here in December in his home. We have the main character, the unnamed narrator, and he is stressing about the fact that the love of his life, Lenore, has passed away. He's clearly heartbroken, but becomes uneasy when a mysterious tapping on his chamber door captures his attention. Attempting to ignore it, the unidentified source of the unwelcome noise continues to distract him. As he focuses on the possible nature of the disturbance, his mind goes back to the source of his sorrow, quote, the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. So that loved one, the woman that he loved who passed away. Poe's poem continues with its haunting theme, the narrator unable to grasp the meaning of this persistent intruder. The trespasser, of course, is a large black raven, which moves about the library, responding to the narrator's queries regarding its purpose with the only phrase that he repeats, nevermore. The raven's continued presence and repetitive use of the phrase proves increasingly maddening to the narrator, who only wants the large bird to leave. And this is where the climax begins. He's yelling, he's imploring, begging the bird to leave and to leave his sorrow. As the bird perches, the reader is left to conclude that this bizarre impostor signifies the narrator's emotional demise about his loved one who's passed away. So that's kind of the basic plot as we start moving through the poem itself. So let's get started here, looking back with the stanzas, okay? As we get started here and talking about the plot and the 5 stages, just a quick review. Many of you forgot the fact that there are 6 lines, and you forgot in your end rhyme the last line of the stanza. So we have regular meter, regular rhyme, A, B, C, B, B, B. Weary, lore, tapping, door, door, more. So there's your end rhyme, okay? So this first stanza is our exposition here. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, we have the narrator, first person, this man sitting in his home in December. We have a very nice musicality to this poem with the end rhyme as well as the internal rhyme. We have napping, tapping, rapping, and then you have door, more, of course, the end rhyme, sorry. So the musicality of this poem is so wonderful because it does have end rhyme, it does use internal rhyme, it has direct use of alliteration in all the stanzas, and it also gives us this regular meter, which we call, it has a specific name, it has triactic octameter. So it's very has a very distinct beat. So it's very musical. So here we're in his chamber, in his room in December. Again, this is the exposition here. And it's developing kind of the conflict here with this internal conflict, him losing his loved one, Lenore. And he's thinking that she's never going to return. We have this use in each of the stanzas of this beautiful alliteration. I love alliteration. You have use of reiteration. Here you have my chamber door, at my chamber door, at my chamber door, at my chamber door, at my chamber door. You have him repeating this reiterated statement to add to that musicality as well. So as we get into the story, he's thinking about Lenore. He's truly sad about her loss. He's sitting in the dark, kind of napping, kind of in and out of consciousness maybe. And is he dreaming or is he not? And in walks the bird. And he starts talking to the bird. The bird is tapping. He's wondering what the mystery is. And then the bird enters into his chamber, and it's perched upon a bust of Pallas. There are so many allusions in this story that we're going to talk about as we move through, but I just wanted to introduce you to the basic start of the story. So we have a dialogue between the man and the raven. We have the major conflict of him losing his loved one, Lenore, and we have the bird coming into his room. So this is kind of the beginning as we get started with the story. Hopefully you're liking it. Stay tuned for the next set of analysis.